up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome back to the Nerdy Narrative. On Fridays, I like to do a recap of my week of reading, and I'm actually going to change the format just a little bit, just try something new. I have this idea. I want to try it out for perhaps the rest of this month, the month of August, see if I like it a little bit better. In my head, I think I'm going to like it better. I hope you will too. So let's just jump right into the new format. At the end of the video, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Oh, I forgot to turn my book light on. Gotta have that. Okay, now we're ready to get started. So first up, I'm just gonna show you guys what I got in book mail this week. Who wouldn't want to start a video opening up some books and catching a good whiff? Ooh, this is pretty. Debut author, the intrigue and factor about who the serial killers are was intense. Short chapters, so I whipped right through this one. Oh my goodness. Heidi is a friend of mine. She knows how much I love serial killers. She does too. So this is called Lily by Kevin Andrew. Two serial killers in a small town shrouded in fear. I'm going to have to read this one sooner rather than later because I have a feeling it's going to be featured in my serial killer September video. Thank you so much, Heidi. Okay, this one has been driving me absolutely crazy. This is from Bain Books, and I have no idea what it could be. I'm sure I talked to somebody about it, and I just plain forgot about it. Ooh, this is a hardback copy of, what is it? Okay, I did talk to the author of this one, Lord of a Shattered Land. Wow, this is a fantastic cover. He would find his people and he would set them free by Howard Andrew Jones. A vast empire's greatest foe, a conquered people's last hope. His name is Hanavar and he will set his people free. I know I have this one scheduled to read over the next few months and I am very excited. Let me just get a close-up of this artwork. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Thank you so much to the author for sending me such a beautiful copy of this book to read. I have one from author Tony Johnson, who is the author of the series The Story of Evil. I have read the first book, which the series has been reworked a little bit, and now the first book is 2 books, and this, I believe, is the conclusion. What the, my goodness. There's a bookmark, and let me use the back of this card to try and make it focus. So the bookmark has the covers of the 5 novels. This is the conclusion of the series, and Tony signed it for me. That is amazing, but I need to see what this is at the bottom here because my gosh, is this a bind up of all 5 of the stories? This is incredible. Guys, look how beautiful. The entire series is just absolutely gorgeous artwork. I am going to finish reading this series. I will review and talk about each of the books as I make my way through the journey. At the end, for everyone who is interested in reading the series, I will do a giveaway for this beautiful bind up. I mean, I don't want to. I want to keep it. But then again, I also want to share the story because I do have a copy of the series. I also have the first couple in a different format of the series that I'll get to keep as a collector. So I feel like I really should share this beautiful copy. So if you're interested in an epic fantasy saga by Tony Johnson, keep your eyes on the channel, subscribe if you're not already, so you can be aware when I start this giveaway. Okay, and then I have 2 last ones here. Let's see. I already know who they're from because I had Chris take a sneak peek so I could say thank you when they came in. So let's see what we have here. Martha Wells, Rogue Protocol. I absolutely love The Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I didn't have a good time with her newest fantasy novel, Witch King, but that's okay. Just because I DNF a book by an author doesn't mean I'm going to give up on the author, especially when I've already read some of the Murderbot Diaries and I absolutely love those. I'm pretty sure I now have the majority of the Murderbot Diaries books in my collection, so y'all know what that means. I got another series here that I need to get finished. I finally have a completed set of the Aragon series in hardback. I have a really, really funny story about that. Wait, that's cool. The page numbers are on the side of the page. That is so freaking nifty. I don't know. Do the rest of the series do that? I'll have to look. A really funny story. I had no idea that this series had 4 books in it until I was watching a booktube video a few years ago, and I always shop your shelves. So if you're a booktuber and you're watching this and you sit in front of your shelves, I'm one of those people that sometimes not sometimes. A lot of times I get distracted because I'm looking at your books. I have discovered new books in a lot of series I've been reading for years because I've seen them on other people's shows watching BookTube, and this book smells wonderful. Huge thank you to my friend Suze, who has been watching the channel, and she picked out a couple of books that were favorites of hers, and now I'm gonna get to finish the series and tell her all about it. I don't usually get that many new books in a week. I usually get 1 or 2, which was why I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna combine that in with my weekly update instead of having a separate video, and then I get a whole stack of books. That is incredible. Thank you all so much for sending those to me. I am very much looking forward to reading those, and now let's talk about the books that I did read this week. Let's start with the nonfiction essay that I read this month out of Joan Didion's collection, We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live. Joan wrote this in 1976. It's titled James Pike American. I had not heard of this individual, but I really enjoyed this essay, mainly because it applies to how I feel today's society reacts. And I'm just gonna read to you the very last part of it so you'll understand what I mean. The man just kept moving. If death was troubling, then start over and reinvent it as the other side. If faith was troubling, then leave the church and reinvent it as the foundation for religious transition. This sense that the world can be reinvented smells of the 60s in this country. Those years when no one at all seemed to have any memory or mooring. And in a way, the 60s were the years for which James Albert Pike was born. No, Joan, James Albert Pike was born for 2023 because that's how it feels. Elon Musk and Twitter to X. Moving on. I also read the short story I Was a Teenage Bigfoot by Jim Butcher. We revisited a favorite character of mine that I never knew was going to be a favorite. For those of you who may not have started your Dresden journey or you haven't read the short stories, I'm not going to tell you who that character is, but I think the funniest part of this short story is why the person who was the villain, why they were doing what they were doing. I got so tickled. That was so much fun. And those are the only 2 things I actually completed. I'm still working my way through A Crown of Swords by Robert Jordan, which is book 7 in the Wheel of Time series, and I am savoring this one. Unlike Lord of Chaos that I read so slowly because I just wasn't enjoying it, I found it incredibly boring. This one has historically been a favorite of mine, and I have had the best time reading through this one. There are so many of my favorite things that happen with character arcs in this one. There's still new characters that are being added to the series that are favorites that I completely forgot showed up in this one. Bonds and friendships being formed. I just absolutely love what this book does for the series as a whole, and I am enjoying every single page. Every chapter has something in it that I enjoy reading in this one. So I've just been taking my time with this one. I've reached the halfway mark. I don't think I'm gonna finish it in the month of July. The other book that I think I started last week when I talked to y'all, if I didn't, I started it right after Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong. This was an arc that the author sent to me and I have really been enjoying it. I've seen a lot of people say that this is one where you just eat up the pages as a reader. I am not one of those readers. There is the trope of mentor-mentee where we learn about this somewhat complex magic system in a teacher-student sort of way, and it is very, very detailed, and it's a little info dumpy. Not in a way that turns me off, but it causes me to stop and take a lot of notes and actually think about what I've read and make sure I understand it. I love that type of thing, but it might not be how some readers like to learn about magic systems, at least not as in-depth as M.L. Wong is taking it. I think I have about 20% more of this book to go. I do hope to get that finished today. I am going to do a dedicated review, so that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. So if you have been curious about the new M.L. Wong, but you wanted to get some opinions of it first, maybe if The Sword of Kaigan wasn't for you, I can tell you this book is completely different. This one is a dark academia type of fantasy. It does have some really great depth of emotion that M.L. Wong won me over with from The Sword of Kaigan. So I'm really enjoying it. Hope to have that review up very soon. And that will bring us to next week's TBR, which will be Greg Hurwitz's Orphan X. This is July's patron pick of the month. My patron Ev picked this book for me to read, and I have a new thing that I want to try with this one, which is why I got a physical copy. I am also going to check out the audiobook from my library. I saw on Ev's Instagram that she did a reread for this one, and she's loving it just as much on a reread as she did with her first read. That's why this one will be a perfect guinea pig for something new that I'm going to try. So if you're curious as to what that might be, keep your eyes on the channel. I'll have that go up soon. I'm also going to be reading Catriona Ward's Looking Glass Sound. I wanted to wait till I got back home to start this one because this one is the one my patrons voted to be their patron only vlog, and I just felt more comfortable doing that here at home where I knew that I could have some quiet time to record those updates for them. I am so excited to read anything new by Catriona Ward. I really enjoyed Sundial. Can't wait to see what she's going to do with her new one. Then my final little addition to my TBR. I'm not sure when we're going to do this, but I'm adding a quick little reread that's going to take place starting in the next few days and go throughout the month of August. And that is One Piece by Aikaro Oda. So my bestest pal Una from the Codex Cantina introduced me to this manga years ago. We buddy read up through, I think, volume 90. But we're so excited for the live action that Netflix is going to be putting out on August 31st that I asked if he would be willing to reread the first 23 volumes in preparation for that. And of course he said yes. So lots of exciting things coming up on the channel. And don't forget to drop down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this new format for my Friday videos. Sharing the books as they come in, a couple of books on the TBR at a time, and more brief update about what I'm reading, and of course following up on those thoughts with a dedicated video on each of the books that I'm going to be reading on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday, a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one.